Well, welcome along to Hong Kong Direct. With the season getting very much busy towards the end of the calendar year, this is the show that will bring you all the latest news, views and interviews here in Hong Kong. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up for you on today's show. Hugh Bowman, a name familiar to many here in Hong Kong, will be making his way back to ride here for a 3-month stint, and we'll be hearing from him later on in the show. We'll also be catching up once again with Jamie Richards, who will welcome in some new horses to his stable here at Sha Tin. We'll find out how things are going for the Kiwi. Well, with the riding ranks always extremely strong here in Hong Kong, many will be looking forward to welcoming back Hugh Bowman, who is going to head over to Hong Kong very shortly for a 3-month stint. And earlier on this week, I managed to catch up with one of the world's best riders.
Absolutely destroying them here in the Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup. Magnificent Werther. Ferrari broke clear from Dark Dream, Sunny Speed and White Cuckoo. Ferrari's got the derby parcelled up in a memorable derby of 2019.
Hugh Bowman, many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Hong Kong Direct. You're, of course, a familiar name to racing fans here in Hong Kong. And firstly, how excited are you to be back in the city? It would be great to have you back.
Nick, hello. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Bit of a different one this time. I mean, I'm used to the fly-in, fly-outs, which I did enjoy doing up until the COVID-19 pandemic, which slowed things up. But looking forward to relocating with the family for a few months. The last time I did a period of time in Hong Kong, our eldest daughter Bambi was about 6 months old, so she'll be 9 in a couple of weeks. So just to give you an idea of how long ago that was, it doesn't seem so long ago, but yeah, we're really looking forward to coming back as a family and settling in.
I read to Hugh in an article earlier on this week that you were sort of quoted as saying it's a great opportunity professionally and personally. Obviously, you've touched upon the personal aspect. Obviously, your family have grown up a bit and it's a bit more of a change. But just an overall sort of view of the situation. You think now is the right time for you to perhaps really try and cement yourself a bit more in Hong Kong?
I'm not sure about that. It's not really our goal. I'm not coming over there with any sort of long-term plans or illusions of how things might go for me. I'm really treating it very seriously, though, on the other hand. And, I just want to come here, and I did enjoy some success. The last time I did spend time there, took a little while for me to gather some momentum. But by the time my 3-month contract expired, I was starting to get a consistent flow of winners, and that's what I'm hoping for again. So what happens beyond the contract period, which ends on the middle of February, who knows? I'm not looking beyond that and not even thinking beyond that. So one step at a time, just really looking forward to what lies ahead. We've just finished a really busy period here in Sydney and of course Melbourne too. So with the Hong Kong International Race Meeting coming up, I feel as though there's going to be a little bit more flavour around that this year with the opening up of things from a COVID-19 point of view. So, one step at a time, just looking forward to coming over, settling in and then seeing how things go.
Hugh, but before we touch upon some of the really good horses that you've ridden here down through the years, there have been plenty, of course. What is it about the Hong Kong style that probably attracts you to Hong Kong, or what is it with your riding perhaps that fits Hong Kong? Is there a balance there? Do you think there's something in that really attracts you to the city?
I think the opportunity of horseflesh that I've managed to ride in Hong Kong certainly helps a lot. I've also received great support from a wide range of owners and trainers, which is fantastic. But it's very much like Sydney to a degree. We race the same way, and I think the fact that I just like the pressure as a jockey, the speed the races are run at. There's no sedate pace, particularly probably at Happy Valley. You've really got to get your horse into into a good position to win the race. And, I think as far as everywhere goes in the world, the Hong Kong horses are rated so closely that the rider probably has more influence on the result than a lot of other racing jurisdictions, because the horses are so evenly rated and they're used to racing against each other on an isolated race course. They only race on 2 courses, so there's not a lot of variety there either. So I think for that reason, if you do well as a rider in Hong Kong, it certainly shows. I think it shows in results, because you need to ride well to win races. It's the bottom line.
As far as your movements now from obviously your hometown Sydney to Hong Kong, the licence runs from November 13 to February 12. When are we expecting to see you here in Hong Kong, Hugh?
So we'll come over on Sunday, and I'm due to have my first rides at Happy Valley on the 16th. So obviously that'll be subject to protocols once I arrive, but that's the plan.
Yes, Hugh Bowman then, who will be making his way to Hong Kong. Obviously, he is a name that just resonates all around the globe. He's had success all over the place, that's for sure. And you can see here by some of these stats, well over 2,500 winners and counting. 104 Group 1s, and I'm sure many more still to come, and numerous Group 2s, Group 3s and listed races as well. 29 winners here in Hong Kong so far, and I'm sure he'll certainly be adding to that tally once he arrives. So we look forward to seeing Hugh Bowman here in Hong Kong. One man that's already here in Hong Kong and certainly laying down his foundations is Jamie Richards. And on this week's edition of the show, we can catch up with the trainer once again. And in this week's portion of the Jamie Richards interview, he talks about bringing new horses and also new owners to the stable.
The horses have to be first and foremost, and we've got to do everything we can to make them better and faster than the competitors' horses.
Today is an important day for Jamie and his team as they receive their first tranche of imported horses. The horses have been undergoing mandatory quarantine since their arrival in Hong Kong 2 weeks ago, but today are ready to be welcomed into the yard.
Just take the horses, bring them up to the walker.
Transporting the horses into new surroundings after a long period in isolation is not without its danger. If the horses are spooked during the transfer, they can seriously harm themselves.
You never know, because they're horses. They're the flight animal. If they're worried or scared, they just charge and run. They could hurt themselves. Any injury will end their racing career, which is not ideal.
One of the new residents in his yard is familiar to Jamie.
This is Palamos. This is a horse that I trained in New Zealand. He's just starting up again now, and we're looking forward to the new season with him. So he's probably 6 or 7 weeks off a trial. We'll just give him a little bit of time and make sure we do it all properly.
Networking with Hong Kong racehorse owners is crucial to the success of Jamie's first season.
I met Jamie almost like during the time when he first arrived to Hong Kong. We have a dinner together. He gave me a really good passion about horse. It's about like a personal contact and the interactions. I trust this guy, and he keep updating me what's going on, send me the video, the progress of my horse.
We really want to try and hit the ground running if we can. We're going to be a little bit slow out of the blocks because we made a conscious decision to give the horses a bit of a break and start with some fresh legs, which I think is important.
Well, superb to see Jamie building the stable up nicely, and hopefully those new imports will certainly do him and his team proud, I am sure. So we look forward to seeing them grace the racecourse sometime soon. Let's take a look at the diary, though, and Jamie will be represented at these meetings coming up. But Saturday, we have the Panasonic Cup as the feature. Back to Happy Valley on Wednesday night, and the Bank of China trials meeting coming up on the 20th of November. Some Hong Kong international clues there plenty. Well, that's about all we've got time for on this week's edition of the show, and we couldn't leave you without a Hugh Bowman classic replay, could we? It's Werther, and this was a huge victory in the QE2 Cup a few years ago. Enjoy this. Many thanks for watching this week's show, and we look forward to having your company again next week here on Hong Kong Direct. Goodbye.
800 metres to go. Helene Superstar leads narrowly. Helene Happy Star. Erda Giles done a ton of work wider out, but he moves up into third. Lovely Day down on the rail. Satono Crown in the middle. Horse of Fortune under pressure, followed by Blazing Speed. Highland Real Nuovo Record. Designs on Rome comes wide. Rising Romance the fence. They're in the straight, and taking the lead now is charging through Lovely Day to join Helene Happy Star. Werther quickly sweeping through underneath them and raced straight on by Werther. He left Lovely Day in the dust, and Werther sprinted clear in the Audemars Piguet. Left them standing 3 lengths on Lovely Day. Military Attack, Blazing Speed, but it's the Hong Kong Derby winner. Werther absolutely destroying them here in the Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup. Magnificent Werther. 4.5 lengths to Military Attack and Blazing Speed.